Hello everybody, it's your boy Zack back to attack yet another Zack track, and today is Zack track 7. And honestly, I don't even know what I'm doing these Zack tracks for. I originally it was about updating my progress on an animated film thingamabobber, but that has taken quite a back seat. I have mentioned I'm a little bit of a procrastinator, so that's kind of why. Also, life and stuff has gotten in the way a little bit. But that's not much of an excuse. If I wanted to make time for it, I'm sure I could have. But hopefully here soon I'll actually be able to get back to working on that stuff. And hopefully make some sort of progress in some way, shape, or form. Although I do go back and forth between thinking alright, do I want to make this into an animated thing? Because first of all, this is it's gonna take a lot of money and all that just to get somebody to make something like this for me. Because I would have to pay an animator to animate things, because I don't know how to animate things. And also, as much as I do have patience for things, I found that I don't have the patience to make an animated thing. Yeah. Tried that, didn't like it, but I do have the patience for editing and all that type of stuff, like I'm doing with all this nonsense here. Look at that, that's crazy. It's infinite! I just realized that I am doing a screen capture, and I'm just in the corner of this video. Yeah, my computer background isn't necessary for this video. I was just trying to show you that I like Star Wars, that's why. that's the reason I had this planned, actually, so. Anyways, I'm too lazy to redo all the intro stuff, so that's staying as is. So I say life's been in the way. What has been in the way? Well, for starters, I was kind of in a relationship, and that I thought was gonna go well. It seemed to really hit it off and be very connected and bonded very well, and we seemed to have the same interests as one another. It seemed all fine and good. They kind of suggested, how about I move in? And I was like, well, I don't know. It was probably because I was on this all lovey-dovey high type thing, but I was like, yeah, duh, that sounds like a great idea. Why not? Just move in. And so this person lived states away. So they moved all the way here, and they were here for a few months, and I just realized that the person doesn't exactly know how to keep a relationship going, or something like that. There was problems. I'll say that. Ones I don't think the person fully really noticed, which makes it even bigger of a problem. But it's a whole thing, and it doesn't really matter. But I was in a relationship, and that kind of kept me busy throughout that 3-month period. But then, it didn't go well, so we had to go through the process of moving them back to states away. So it's just been a little hectic is all. And now, as of yesterday, I no longer work at Walmart. I used to work at Walmart, and I worked there for 5 years. If I would have stayed till December 5th, I would have been there 6 years. That's crazy. As soon as I hit that 5-year mark, I remember I was just like, I think I'm going to be a lifer. I think this is going to be my life. Not that it's a bad thing, working at Walmart for however long. It's a good job. It is. I've complained about it quite a bit, and so does literally everybody that works there. But at the end of the day, it's an easy job. It's a very easy job. And I mean, there's a lot of things and a lot of factors of why you might want to leave said job. Maybe you don't feel fully respected. Maybe you are having troubles with coworkers. Maybe you're just wanting to get out of retail and want to deal with less people. Although, you know, I gotta say that the people aspect of it, at first, I was terrible. I could hardly speak to anybody. So 5 years ago, you come up to me and I'm like, hi, how are you? Have a good day. That was me, yo. I couldn't speak my words. And this is why I think actually working in retail is something that most people should do. Like, I have some nieces right now, and they are far from gonna be working. Like, it's gonna be quite a while before they ever get a job, but I think they at least should spend a year or so in retail just because it gets you a good, just because it's a good overall experience from what I've went through. It was interesting, you know, because especially like I was forced to interact with people. It took a little bit, but eventually I would say my customer skills has severely improved. I would say my customer skills was fully developed or whatever. You know, like I would be the one that's greeting the customers that are like looking away, like. And here's the thing I've noticed. Now, obviously, you put yourself as the customer. You think, oh, I'm just here to get my stuff. I don't really care to interact too much, but that's not everybody. There's a lot of people out there that would love for you to say hi to them, would love you to smile. I have been told that I made someone's day just because I said hi and I smiled to them. They said that. They stopped and they said, thank you for making my day. And I was like, that was one of the moments that changed my life in terms of interacting with other people. This is something I'm going to forever take with me, is you greeting somebody and smiling. You have no idea. And I know personally that sometimes in interaction like that, sometimes you don't want it, but sometimes you do want that. And sometimes you want that, but you don't know that you want that. That interaction, that smile, it makes you feel happier. It makes you feel like, oh wow, someone notices me, someone acknowledges me. And that's something that really I didn't realize as someone who worked in customer service, but what all people in customer service really need to know is they can be making a huge difference just by saying hi. Like, it is insane. Like, that's not the only experience I ever had there where someone was very delighted just because I said hi to them. Like, I just wish I could tell everybody in customer service, like, how important it is just to do that. And not just because, like, they want you to do that to greet the customers and make sure they know they are finding everything okay. I really could... I mean, like, I do care about getting customers what they need, and I've gone way out of my way to get stuff for people. Like, I've like said something wasn't there because I thought it wasn't, and then I later find it, and this customer asked about it earlier, and then like just like a few minutes later I find it, and then I'm like, oh crap. And so I go through the store and I'm hunting them down just to get this item to them. And they're so appreciative whenever you do that. You're like, oh, hey, I actually found what you were looking for. And then they're like, oh my God, because they thought they weren't going to get this. And then they saw that you went through the trouble to track them down. So it's stuff like that that really made customer service worthwhile. And is why I think everybody should go through customer service at least once in their life. And then maybe at some point get out. It depends if you really like that. There's a lot of people. There's people there that have worked there for like 25 years, 30s. I would say 40 something years at the Walmart I worked at, and that's crazy. But if you like your job, I mean that helps. I would assume that they like their job, but although, I mean, a job is a job, you know, sometimes you're just there to get a paycheck, and, you know, Walmart really isn't a terrible place for that to be the place that you go and get a paycheck every day. There are some other customers. I'm only going to talk about this briefly, but sometimes you do get the bad ones, and sometimes that can really bring you down. Like sometimes you'll interact with someone who is just a complete jerk face. But there would be like some of those customers, you know. There are some experiences I remember. Like, and I'm talking about like my first year there. This one was, I would say it's a little bit more my fault, but I was new and I was nervous and I was scared and I was like, please don't talk to me. Oh my God. I remember this lady, she was just walking through and I was doing a thing and she stops up and she's like, where are the toothpicks at? I remember she said it very aggressively. I was taken off guard. And I was new there and I didn't know what to do when you didn't know where an item was. So instead of like going to get somebody to help find them or this or that, I was just like, I don't know where those are. Sorry. This lady, she was like, okay, great, thanks. You're like a ton of help. Thanks. You're great, thanks, great. You know, they were just saying that a lot. And then they just strolled off, all pissy. And don't get pissy with customer service, people. I'm just saying. I don't think you should really get angry with anybody that is should be helping you around there. I was new. And then that one stuck with me because I was like, I did something wrong. Oh, God. And there's just plenty of other cases where I've run into the odd customer being completely rude and unnecessarily rude. Like, hey, go find this for me. Or, hey, where is this? Huh? Oh, you don't have it? Great. That's freaking fantastic. Thanks for not having it. Or something like that, you know? Or them like suggesting that we're hiding a supply of something that they're looking for in the back room. No, we're not. Trust me, we want to get all the stuff that's in the back out as much as we can, because it just takes up space. But yeah. Also, there's just one customer that really stuck with me, and I remember who it was, and I've seen them around from time to time. In fact, I saw them on my last day. But there was a lady, she was asking me about hamburger meat, and she was like, I love to eat these things raw, like without cooking them up. I didn't know people did that. I didn't know you could do, I didn't know you should. Should you do that? It's probably bad, right? Is it bad? Or am I just, is that just a thing people do? Do you just eat hamburger meat raw? That sounds kind of not good, but they were convinced that it's some sort of healthy alternative or something. I don't know. All I know is I just kept nodding and thinking, what is happening? Also, at the same spot, a customer many years later, I think from now, it would have been like a year ago or something like that. I remember this guy, we had chuck pot roast on the end cap, and he's like, hey, come here for a second. And I was like, okay. And then he was just like as straight-faced as you can be. Like, he just looks at me, and he's like, so, what, do they, like, get the cows, like, high off weed, and then they just, like, cut those down and put them into a chuck pot roast? Is that why it's called a chuck pot roast? Pot? The dude was fucking with me, and I know he was, but just like, whenever you're in customer service, you really have no idea what you're gonna run into. During COVID, there was a dude that came to the place with underwear on his head for a mask. You're gonna find all sorts of things at Walmart, and I think people know that. But as a person that works at Walmart, you really know that you have no idea what you're gonna find. it's a little different. I'll say that. Fortunately, I didn't interact in a whole lot of like crazy like customers like going at another customer or going at an associate. There has been like a couple of things that I've witnessed, and of course those got taken care of. But luckily, I personally wasn't ever a part of any of that stuff. Although I would have been able to handle myself, it would have just like, no, like why do I want to? Why would I didn't come to work to deal with this crap. Like, what are you doing? Leave me alone, okay? You know what? On my last day, this is real crazy. Like, there were people that used to work there that showed up, and they said their hellos and all this, and it was just crazy. Like, I was seeing, on my last day, I saw so many people I used to work with. And, like, I don't know if that was just, like, you know, I have, like, a certain way that I believe that life is and how it works and all that, and that none of that matters. But I definitely, it definitely felt like it was meant to be. Like I was meant to, it was kind of like, especially because I'm a nostalgic person, and I look back on things with great love and care, and you know, and I hate whenever things come to an end. And so it was just, it meant a lot to me to be able to see all these different faces that I never have seen, that I haven't seen in like years or months or something like that. It was crazy. Like, I kept thinking about it all throughout the day. I was like, what a coincidence that I'm seeing so many people that I used to work with. And then there's one person that came back to work that day. I believe it was that day and not prior. I could be wrong, but they showed back up, and I haven't seen them for years, like not since like 2019 or like early 2020, because they were out on mental health leave. And then I saw them, I got to catch up with them, I got to give them a hug. You know, it was nice to see them, especially on my last day. It was crazy. Like, I was taken aback by all that. So, I mean, I'm done there at Walmart now. I don't plan on going back. I know the saying is, oh, you'll be back in a few months or something like that. I don't plan on going back. I am done with customer service. And, you know, like, I mean, I have a lot of good memories of customer service, but I'm just done. It's just not a job for me to continue. I don't see myself going back, but you never know. But I personally just, I hope not. I personally just want to move on to something different. And that's just how I'm feeling right now. But it was a wonderful place to work at. I got to meet so many different people, and I would always listen to people, and like, I've learned so much about these people. You know, it seems like I'm just somebody that people feel like they can talk to, because just about everybody has like opened up to me at some point within the last 5 years, and I would remember them. I would remember these moments, and I would just be like, okay, yeah, and not like, yeah, okay, shut up, like, no, like yeah, okay, because I always loved listening to people talk. A lot of people would mock and be like, because like I would always listen to people or have a conversation with someone, and a lot of times I'll just be like, okay, yeah, right. And then like people are like, you're not listening, are you? You're not paying attention, are you? The thing is, I am. I'm just way more of a listener than I am a talker, unless it's about something I know a lot about or something like that. But I swear I hung on to every word. I did. It's just, I like hearing people's life stories. I like people talking to me about their lives and opening up, because I'm always there for anybody who needs it. As I think we all should be, but that's a whole nother thing. You know, the people came and went, and I saw so many people, you know, filter in and out, get replaced, and all that, and it's sad to see some people go, and but then you got to meet new people with new stories, and that was pretty cool. And I got to, there wasn't really anybody I hated per se. I don't think I truly hate somebody. I might say, oh, I hate this person, blah, 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 but I don't think I hate anybody. Maybe sometimes people really get on my nerves, like a lot, but I don't hate anybody. You know, like there's people that have fucked me over in this life, and I have moved on from my hate from them and have not necessarily forgiven what they've done, but I've let go of the anger and stop letting them live rent-free inside my head, which is something everybody should do if they're holding on to grudges. Grudges are not healthy, not at all. But once again, another side tangent. Like, woo! I got to train my replacement. She's great at the job. Like, she just picked it up just like that. And you know, there's sometimes those people that just have trouble with just the simplest of things. She wasn't one of them, so there's that. I had a great crew to work with, really, and I think this new person is going to. I think they're gonna like working there. It really is like I know, like, I'm biased, but the Fresh Cap area really is probably the best group in like to work with. I think I enjoyed getting to step out of my comfort zone and work with other people in other areas. That was great, and I enjoyed working with those people. But if I had to pick and choose, honestly, I think I would still go back to Fresh Cap. There's just something about that area, something about the people that I did enjoy. I had this wonderful, tremendous, amazing individual that was my boss, my team lead over Fresh Cap. And I've mentioned him before on the podcast, John. And he's always funny. Like, that is something I'm going to miss about being on that team. Like, we worked, but we worked and we had fun. We were able to joke around with one another while we were working. We were able to just really respect one another, or try to respect one another, and we tried to give each other that pat on the back that upper management didn't feel that we were worthy of. That's really the one complaint, is that upper management just, I mean, instead of nitpicking at everything and this and that, especially after hearing about what other stores are like, I would give pats on the back, and I don't think that's out of line to say. Because we never really received any thanks or any of that. And I think we worked pretty hard, and I think other areas work just as hard. And I think a little appreciation goes a long way. But I digress. I am going to miss my coworkers, my boss, John. I'm going to miss all of them. You know, I'm going to miss all the people I worked with, like in other areas, and just people in passing. I'm going to miss them all. And I would feel, I don't know. I've already mentioned John, so his name's out there, but not just his first name, you know. But I could list off like everybody, but that would take some time. But y'all know who you are. You know, if you're watching this, I appreciate you. If you're not watching this, I still appreciate you. I'm going to be working at Blue Cross now. I've got a job lined up there, so it's going to be a bit of a transition. I don't have to necessarily do phones, as far as I know. I'm just going to be doing some claims processing, so a lot of computer stuff. And I'm really good with computers. I like to think so. So hopefully this will be a good job for me. I think there's a lot of advantages to this job that will help me in my life, I think. And I think it is the next best step forward for myself. but that's just we'll have to wait and see how it all pans out. I hope it pans out just fine. But all in all, Walmart was a great place to work. I worked there for 5 years. And if you know someone that is in need of a job, I would check out Walmart. It is not a terrible place to work. You might have your problems here and there, but I imagine that's a thing you're going to have with every job out there. You're always going to have something about the job that you wish would change. But in the whole grand scheme of things, I enjoyed myself. And I think you would too if you do not work there. And I hope that people enjoyed my presence. I hope people, whenever I was there. Yeah, no, I had like an awful time with my depression during this whole like breakup and just like this, just the problems with the relationship during the relationship. I was going through a big old terrible mental time. And so I called in quite a bit because of my mental issues. I was not fit to work those days. But I have a feeling I'll be able to make it through with this next job. It's just, the thing is, like, whenever I'm in those states, I like physical labor like that, yeah, that you have to do at Walmart. There is no doing it. I just can't. But with this other job, I might have ups and downs, but I am currently working on fixing those problems. I am going to be getting back into working out. I used to be in so much better shape than I am currently, and I plan to get back to that. I promise I'm going to get back to that. That's a promise to myself. I'm just, you guys don't care, and that's fine. But I am going to get in better shape. And especially being on computers all day, every day, like I can see myself getting even bigger and just like because you're being so stationary. In my job at Walmart, you move around all the time, and things change at a moment's notice, and it's completely crazy. But I gotta say, still enjoyed it. And yeah, I don't know what else to really talk about. I think I've pretty much covered everything I wanted to talk about. I tell you, it didn't really sink in until there was a coworker I didn't get to say goodbye to initially inside the building, but I waited outside for him. And part of me wishes I got like a picture with everybody. I'm a sentimental type. I know, gross. But I did get a picture with a couple of people, and I got a picture with him. Me and him just really clicked. You know, we had like a lot of things in common. We both loved our Star Wars. We talked about that quite a bit at work, and a bunch of the nerdy things that we liked, and we both had a lot of common in music and you know, all sorts of things. And so I was really happy that I got to say goodbye officially to that person. I got to shake their hand, gave them a hug goodbye, you know, that type of thing. But it was just weird. It wasn't until like right after that interaction with that person, that it ended up sinking in. Like, I got into my car, I drove, like I looked back at the building one last time, like, oh, this is the ending, oh my god, this is the series finale, ooh. You know, you had 5 good seasons, you know, but you know, this is the big one. And then I started turning my car, got to a stop sign, and then it just kind of hit me right then and there. I was like, and it didn't help that there was like a sad song playing, or I think it was a sad song. It was like "Fall in Love" by Bailey Zimmerman. It sounded sad. I only just heard it like that day, I think, but it didn't help the vibe. But I was at the stop sign, and then it just all sank in. I got a little teared up. I'll be honest. I just because like I'm saying goodbye to 5 years worth of stuff, and I'm gonna still see the people from time to time. I mean, obviously it's Walmart. I'm gonna be going back in and shopping and whatnot, but just I'm gonna miss everybody. I'm gonna miss Walmart a little bit. Nah, I'll miss the place, I guess. But yeah, Walmart was a good job. 5 years. Let's see what happens the next 5 years, and then the next 5 years after that, and the next 5 years after that, the next 5 years after that. All right, I've been rambling enough for this video. That's all I got. I just wanted to talk about Walmart mainly. Without further ado, fellas, Zack likes. If you can leave your boy Zack a like and hit the subscribe button on your way out, as I would very much appreciate it. And with that said, I'm Zack Attack. You're you. Thanks for watching.
Heard you moved out to South Carolina just like you always said we would. And packed your bags in that old 4Runner that I bought you when things were good. I'm glad to see the stop sign didn't hit you, bring you back to your senses. Oh, it waved you gone goodbye. Yeah, it waved you gone goodbye. I heard you found yourself a brand new man, put a rock on your finger and he vowed you a second chance. Built a house right by the coast, that ocean view is beautiful, but baby, I just want you to know, he don't know you like I did. Money talks, but I